Hello, this is a video. This is a video on how to make a mask because I believe you need to make a mask right now. I got this template from, I believe, the New York Times. There's a link down below. You can look at that. It's a little piece of paper that was literally cut out of the newspaper. You're going to use this to make a mask that looks like those surgical ones that they have pleats, and in the middle they sort of spread out, and in the back they tie around your ears, or they are tied in the back of your head. You'll recognize it when you see it. Very simple. In another video, I'll show you how to make the more curvy ones using this other template. Those are the ones that look more like a mountain biker's mask, maybe. More form-fitting, and you can make those over the ears, or you can make them with tie straps as well. I'm going to show you how to make that with over the ears, but that will be in a different video. So first off, this is my first video. I'm no pro at this. I'm neither a pro at sewing nor a pro at face mask making, nor am I a pro at how-to videos. It's my first one, so don't take it with a grain of salt. And if I do something you wouldn't do, just do it differently on your end. You know, learn from my mistakes. I don't plan to make any, but if I do, I'm just going to keep on going, because that's the best way to get things done. And we got to get things done now. Anything else I need to say before we go? No, except that the sewing machine is loud, so I'm practicing speaking loudly so that the recording gets my voice. So here we go. You've taken this template, you've cut it out, you've found the link, you've printed it, you have traced it on your nice fabric, and you have cut out a rectangle of your nice fabric. Here it is. I've cut out mine. That's the nice front, nice floral print. There's the back. It's more faded. It's the back side. I've also done the same thing with just some white cotton fabric. I have cut a rectangle of that. That doesn't have a front or a back. That doesn't matter. You'll find this wherever you want, or just use another piece of fabric as the back. Follow the instructions in the link from the Times. They probably know what they're doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay down the colorful side up. You'll see why. And then you're going to put 4 straps in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple straps for you just so you know what it's like to make a strap. So this is just bias tape, or in the case you can't find bias tape, and I hear it's very hard to find right now, make your own. This is just like a 1.25 inch wide strip that I cut from some other fabric, and then I folded it in half, ironed it, and now I'm going to sew it shut. I'm going to be sewing not in the middle. I'm going to sew close to the edge, but if you get too close to the edge, you're going to miss the edge, and it's going to be a mess that you're going to have to clean up. So I'm about 1/8 inch from the edge, just trying to marry the 2 edges together. So I'm holding on to my threads, putting it in there, clamping down the foot, and just giving some light tension to the threads, because otherwise you'll lose them. I've learned. Getting it started, and there we go. And I let go because now I'm just watching it. And I'm trying to stay 1/8 inch from the cut edges. We're just trying to make our own little tie straps. So these are the tie straps, and you'll see that I'm putting black thread on a nice yellow piece of fabric. Oops, well, that's what I had on hand. It's nice for making a video because then you can see the contrast between the colors and you know what it is you're looking at. I have a nice little cutter on the side of my Singer here, so I'm using that cutter, pulling the threads out in the back, because if you don't, you're going to end up wishing you had. I can cut this now, or I can cut it later. I'm going to find my scissors. There's my scissors. And I'm going to cut those now. So that's what the tie straps look like. I guess I'll make these other 2 tie straps real quickly here. I can maybe even talk to you while I'm doing it. So, tighten that down. You don't have... Oh, forgot to hold those. There we go. I may run out of bobbin thread. I may run out of top thread. In which case, I'm not going to stop the video. I'm just going to keep going, and you're going to see how to load a bobbin. Try to do it quickly. So I'm finishing up this next tie strap here, backing up, back and forward. Okay, there we go. Raise that needle pull that out, make sure the clutch is disengaged, give it some nice leader. This time I'm gonna cut it with scissors, just so I can do it all at once. Boom, doesn't have to be too exact. And there, that's another one done. And I'm gonna do this last one while I describe to you some other options you may have for tie straps. So if you don't want to do tie straps on your face mask, even though I'm teaching you tie straps, you could use scrunchies. You could use hair ties. It's really okay. You could use elastic. You could make it an around the ear type. You could use rubber bands. You don't have to just do the tie strap. I've heard that people with glasses, hearing aids, or other things that are already on their ears are having some trouble with the elastic rubber bandy scrunchy tie ones that go around the back of the ear. So the tie strip ones are better for them. So now I've got 4 of these. So you can mix and match a mask shape with a strap design. So again, this is the nice colorful side up. Colorful side up. And then I'm gonna fold this up and you'll see why. So I'm gonna fold it kind of flat and leaving the end here. And I've left the end that I didn't double back and forth on because that end is already a mess and it's gonna be on the inside of your mask, so nobody's gonna see it. And so this end is gonna go right up to the corner of your lovely printed fabric. And it's just gonna sit there. It's gonna rest there. I'm gonna leave it right there where it is. I'm gonna do that 4 times. And the reason why I'm doing this, I'm gonna explain that right now, since I have some extra time here. The reason I am putting them to the corners is because that is where you're going to affix the tie straps to your mask corners. They're going to be sewn down into the corners. The reason why I'm being so careful to place the rolled up ends in the middle is because you're going to be sewing around the edge of this rectangle mask. And if you sew around the edge and one of these tie straps happens to be close to the edge, you're going to sew your tie strap right in to your fabric. And your mask will have one less tie strap, or you'll be starting over. I've done it. So here's the 3rd corner, placing that nicely there. So it's kind of like building a little sandwich. And the last one here, this one I already nicely finished off and don't have to trim it. I'm gonna fold that up, try to keep it flat. If you keep it flat, it's just easier in the next step. So all 4 of these are in the corners. And now what I'm gonna be doing is putting the white fabric back on top. Just carefully there. And then I'm going to pin all 4 corners. You're pinning the white fabric to the printed floral fabric with the end of the tie strap in the corner. And the reason why I'm not being too particular about how perfectly it meets the corner is because it's going to be gone when you reverse it. You're not going to see any of this work. So here I am pinning the corner. Now you can pin however you want. I'm sure some of you are master pinners. Some of you are first-time pinners. It's okay. You'll get the hang of it eventually. Doing the next corner, sort of pulling it out. I don't mind that this is going to go a little bit past. Doesn't matter. It's better to go past than not all the way to the corner, for sure. Grabbing another pin here. Thin pins are better because, as I've learned, sewing over a thin pin is a lot nicer than sewing over a big thick pin. I'm not even sure why they make big thick pins. Maybe for people that don't mind going through needles like crazy, or have big industrial needles. I don't know. I only this week learned that you can sew over a pin. It's amazing. I didn't know what pins were for until this week. So the 3rd corner here, I'm pinning it. And the pinning, I don't have a pinning technique. I just try to make sure that it goes back and forth, in and out a couple times, just so that the fabric really marries up there. And one last pin. Ta-da. I think I have one more corner left. Here's the fourth corner, and here I am pulling the tie strap out a little bit. I hope this is in the video. It would suck if the bottom inch of this video just didn't show up in the final edit, because that's where all the work is right now. And I'm pinning it back and forth. Here you can see my red badge of courage. Boop, boop. My pink flesh-colored badge of courage. Testing. This is really important. Make sure that none of the tie straps have inched over towards the edge. You'll regret it like nothing else. There we go. They're all far away from the corners. Please do improve upon this method if you wish. You can pin along the edges if you want to. It's not a bad idea. Better safe than sorry, perhaps. So I'll do one pin right here. I'm pinning on the white side just because it shows up more. You can pin on the floral side or the printed side or what have you. So there we go, I did one there. And I'm gonna pin one over here on this side because why not? Since I started it, I'm going to finish off this job and then I'll pin this last side with this pin here and in, out, not through the finger, done. And this last side, I guess, I'm not as worried about. So the final thing to tell you is, I'm trying not to let the tie straps move around inside there. I'm going to be sewing all the way around the edges to marry these two pieces of fabric together and also to adhere the tie strap to its corner. I'm going to start around here, not in the middle of a side. I'm going to start here and I'm going to go down, over, and up. And I'm going to go across the top and then I'm going to go down a little bit here. So what I'm going to be doing is going from about here all the way around to about here. That's going to leave this section right here empty. About 2 inches are going to be clear of any stitching because that's where you reverse your mask. Kind of like a sock when you take a sock out of the dryer and it's inside out. You reach in, you grab the toe and you pull that toe out and it's voila, it's outside out, which is good. You'll see in a second. Again, since I lifted this up in the air, I'm making sure that I haven't let the tie straps move. This one's moved a little. Look at that. It moved back to the middle. Now, even as you're watching this, you're going, I've got a way better way to keep that from happening. That's fine. But you've seen the way I do it, so now you know why there is a reason for doing something. Putting that foot down. Oops. Yeah, that's good. Nope. There we go. That's a little closer. I'm going to hold my 2 threads in the back because, of course, you got to hold your threads a little bit just to get started. And now, starting right there. And I'm going to back it up a little bit to make sure I get that firmly in place. And I'm already at a corner, so since I'm at a corner, I'm going to put my needle in that fabric, turn it a little bit, and have a 45-degree angle to the corner. Forward, backward, forward. We've really sewn that corner together. You've got that tie strap really sewn in there, which is important. Turn the corner. Now I'm gonna go right over this pin. Lovely. I'm about a 1/4 inch in. If you go a 1/4 inch in, if you go more than a 1/4 inch in, you're gonna make a slightly smaller mask, that's all. Because when you reverse it, the hem is, or the whatever, the stitches, squeeze the mask shape size in a little bit. It's okay. I'd like to do an 1/8 from the edge, but if you go an 1/8 from the edge, you're skirting with disaster, perhaps. Depends on how good you are at keeping your edge. I've gone back and forth across there, putting my needle in, turning it, and finishing this side. Yeah. Don't go too fast. Don't pull your fabric. I've learned the hard way. If you rush it, if you pull it, you break your needle. And when you go through a pack of needles in a day, you realize that you're doing it wrong. And then you slow down, learn from your mistakes, and voila. Forward, back up, forward. Make sure that tie strap is really secured in the corner. Putting that needle down, almost done with this, almost. It's a nice speed. Zen, calm down, here we go. Needle in, 45-degree turn, forward, back, forward. Needle in, finish that turn. Make sure you're not sewing anything in there. Whew, don't want to do that. And whoops, foot down, that helps. And moving forward. Backing up a little bit, there we go. So I've released the clutch, pulled the needle up, and I'm taking my lovely handiwork out. Remember to wiggle that knob to make sure that the clutch is not engaged. Where's those scissors? There's the scissors. Nah, I'm going to use the side cutter. And lovely side cutter. And make sure you pull your threads out a little bit or else you'll regret it when you go right back in there. I'm going to cut these little threads. See these little threads? Cut. Okay. So, lovely stitch work around the outside. That's actually pretty good, but we'll see. Taking out the pins. If you use more pins, that's fine. It's gonna make it look better probably. Takes a little bit longer, and since I want to make this video happen, I'm going to let you do extra pinning. Look at that, they're already coming out. So you pull out the tie straps, which are all on the side, and if you don't find 4 tie straps inside, and if they don't come out all the way, then you've definitely messed up somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, whew! And they're all the same length, roughly, which is good. That means I didn't accidentally sew one to the side. So now I'm going in there like the whole reverse a sock thing analogy, and I'm pulling the back outside to the front, and I'm inverting my mask. So it always pays to reach in there and poke your fingers into the corner to get every last bit of that material inverted. Otherwise, drive yourself nuts trying to pick at it with your fingernails. And there we go. That's not a bad mask so far. So you see you got your tie straps in the corners, and there they are. Now, what to do with this little gap that you still have here? Well, that gap had to be there, and now it doesn't have to be there. So I'm gonna I sort of folded it back in on itself, so I did the best as I could to tuck in the 2 edges. Put those in there. I'm gonna go right to the middle just because you know what I'm talking about. 1/8 of an inch in, because now I do want to get as close to the edge as I can. When you're doing it before you reverse it, well, you have no choice. Where you're doing it on this side, you've already made a nice little fold. You don't want to lose too much more of your material. So here I am. Backwards. And sometimes, instead of reversing all the way back, because reverse mode is hard. I don't know what your sewing machine looks like, but reverse mode can be a beast. So here I am sewing in the other direction, as opposed to using reverse. There it is. Backing up and out. And release that. And wiggle a little bit so that it comes out. And there we go. We're so close. I'm going to cut these off right here. You can see me cutting those. Cut, cut, cut. Okay. And what do we have? We have a mask. Now you want to have those nice pleats. I'm going to show you that mask again. Look at that. There's the front. And there's the tie straps on the corners. There's the back. Yeah, if I was, using white thread, that would be nice because then you wouldn't see this. But nobody's going to see that. That's on the inside when you're wearing your mask. Da-da-da. So, next step is putting your pleats in. So, I'm going to sort of show you close up right here and personal in front of it. You're roughly going to fold the top down a little bit. And then once you have a nice middle, you're going to pin it. And then you're going to do the same thing up here. And then you're going to do the same thing down here. And then you'll have 3 pleats. And that's going to look nice. So I'm going to do it down here on my little platen. It's never perfect the first time, but I'm going to pretend like it is perfection this time. So I'm putting a pin in and out, and in. First pin down. Okay. Now before I do any other pleats, I'm going to do the other side of this pleat. So here I am. I'll show it to you close up towards the camera. I think I'm spending more time picking up pins than I am actually instructing you on things to do. Okay, so here I am pinning the pleat down, and I'm just trying to make the pleat lay down on the fabric so that when I sew over it with the sewing machine, that pleat stays right in there. So you can see that. See how it's back and forth? It's folded over, back. It's like a zigzag. It's like a switchback. But it's just gonna be a pleat. So this looks nice, like a surgical mask. And now I'm gonna pick up this here pin. Got a pin in my mouth. That's okay. And I'm gonna do the next pleat down here. Oh, these pleats are incomplete. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. These aren't gonna be the best pleats ever. That's okay. Oy vey. Yeah, it's a hideous pleat. So, pinning this one, I might undo that middle pleat just to, so that I have a decent mask when I'm finished with this. Because I might give this to somebody. And they can say they're wearing the mask that was used in the tutorial video. So there's the second pleat. You can see it's right there, halfway between the middle pleat and the edge of the mask. Now let's finish off this pleat, since I mostly like this pleat. See, this is the part where I would, if I was a professional, cut away to a completed version of the pleating process. You know, save you 10 minutes of pleating dialogue. Pin, pin, pin. Done? Done pinning. Okay. I may or may not remove that middle pleat, but first I will do the top pleat. And you know what? I don't mind that middle pleat now. It looks okay. Oh. Okay. All right, so next thing I do is find another pin. When you're done with your pins, put them back in the pin cushion. Don't throw them onto your table, especially if your table kind of looks like it has a pin kind of pattern in it. You'll regret it. All right, so in a second I'm going to show you a close-up, and then you're going to be like, I know what he's doing. I get it now. So final pleat, not the best pleat of my life. Final pin, final pleat. Oof, there it goes, and it's in. Okay, I'm about to show it to you. Look at that, 3 pleats pinned. Pinned on the left, pinned on the right. Stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. Okay, here we go. I am going to start just above one of the pleats. I'm gonna start just about here, and I'm gonna go down, and here I am securing the entire mask one last time, which can't hurt because it's gonna give it a nice firm edge. This one's been gone over several times. It's going to be the firmest of all. So again, I'm going all the way around this mask. Wish I could show you a close-up. Maybe when I learn video making 2.0, I will be able to show you an inset close-up view. But for now, I'm going to have to describe what I'm doing because it's kind of being done over here. And also practicing my loud voice because it's going to get loud in a second. So here we go. Sewing down the edge. I'm trying to go at 1/8 of an inch. I'm going right over the pins. Sometimes it fights you and you just sort of have to lift up the foot. Just let it go forward a tiny bit. And that's all you can do. So put that needle in, turn it a little bit, and then get it back down, and it's going this way. You don't need to go back and forth. Whoops. Aha! I have a funny feeling you're about to see a very short mini tutorial on how to load a bobbin. Surprise. Oh, no. Whew, thank goodness. All right, we're good. We're good for now. But I make no promises. You may be watching me load a bobbin in a second. In we go. That's pretty good. Yep. So I'm gonna start right here. It's gonna sort of skip ahead. You don't mind. That one's been gone over twice, and no one will ever know. So here we go. I am giving a little bit of tension there. Getting started. Going to the edge. Now I'm on the opposite side where the other side of the pleats are. I'm making sure that needle is in there. Good. You always want to have your needle in your fabric when you turn a corner. So here's the pleats on this side. I'm just going to use a little, use a screwdriver or an emery board or whatever you have to sort of tamp down on the side here to make sure you're not. You gotta kind of push the things underneath the foot sometimes. I wish it wasn't like that. So going over the pleats, tamping it down a little bit, going over the second pleat, tamping it down a little bit as I go through. Fingers crossed. Woo, slow down, slow down. Whoa, did I? Woohoo! Almost sewed one of my tie straps right into the mask. That would be bad. And now here I'm at the corner. Turn that corner. Needle down, turn, and this is the last side. And I'm gonna push that tie strap through there so it's out of wire. And going forward. Please don't run out of bobbin thread. Not now, not now. Here we go. And up to the corner. And I'm going to finish off this corner and then we're done with this. What you're then supposed to do is go in another 1/8 of an inch and go all the way around. I wonder if I have enough bobbin left. If not, I may just stop partway through and show you the final product. It would behoove me to cut some of these threads. Since the second time around, I'm getting close to all these threads that were sticking out. Don't want my Singer machine to get confused with what thread is going where. Okay, so pulling always do this. Always pull your tie straps away from the sides, or else you will you will sew them right into your mask. And that is no bueno. Now I am making sure my phone doesn't go off again. That's bad YouTube etiquette. All right, so here we go. Another 1/8 of an inch in. At this point, I could probably take out the pins. Oops. Might be a good idea to take out the pins, but I'm gonna leave them in for now. I think it's okay. And now moving forward, put that foot down. Again, I am following the first line of, oh, and there it is, the bobbin is out. So what I was doing was following the first line of stitching, and then I was going to go around it a second time. And here I go. I am showing you the final completed mask. This is, oy vey. So it's okay. It's okay. So here's what I am showing you. I'm showing you that I went from here, I went along there to here, then I doubled back a little bit. Well, actually I didn't double back on this particular go around. Then I went across to here, then I went down there. This was the original seam that I sewed a couple times to shut that hole, the 2-inch hole. And then that's why it's a mess there. And then I went across here and then I went down. And what I did, where did I do it? Okay, I'm sort of showing it to you backwards. If I was looking counterclockwise. Then what I did is I went in another 1/8 of an inch. I didn't cut my thread. That's why you can see that it just continued over there. You might want to cut your thread so that it looks, so you don't have that continuation between the two concentric rectangles. Maybe that matters to you. I don't know. You just want to make these masks, don't you? Then I started going along here to make the second smaller inside rectangle. And then I got to here and I ran out of bobbin. So imagine that this went all the way around again. It would look lovely. So I'm pulling out my pins, tossing them right there onto the tabletop where they will disappear forever. I promise I will clean these up before I let the cats out to jump up here, because they would jump up here in a minute. And what you have here is a completed face mask. The tie straps on the 4 corners, these nice pleats. Now, of course, the pleats disappear towards the middle, but they're supposed to. To make it look nice, I would finish folding down the pleat and I'd iron it. I'd iron it down to make it look nice. Of course, it's not going to last forever. I guess if you have some kind of whatever the process is, you iron something to make it last a lot longer after you've ironed it. Maybe that's what you do. Starch, I don't know. Probably not. So when you have all 3 pleats in there, it looks really nice. And then when you put it across your face, I'm going to do that right now. You tie the top. I tie it very lightly. And then you tie the bottom. And as you can see, the pleating stays at the edges, and then it opens up in the middle. Oh, it's beautiful. See how it works? That's how it works. You like that? Is that a nice look? Actually, that's not bad at all. I kind of like this. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off here because you get the gist of it. Check in with me if you want to know any tips or tricks that I've had since then. And do better than me. Do way better than me. If nothing else, this video has shown you that somebody like this guy can do something at least this half-assed. So if me can do that, then you can do that amazing thing that you're doing. So go do that thing you do. Thanks for watching this video, my first video. I wish it was a better time for us to be making videos for each other, but these are the times we live in. So thank you.